Hello YouTube, this is Dimitri, and today I'm here with the JVC HARX700 headphones. Now, before we get on to sound quality, let's talk about the design of these headphones. These are solidly built headphones, which are pretty big, but surprisingly lightweight. You really won't notice the weight of the headphones at all when you actually put them on your head, which is just amazing, because when you really see these things in person, they're built like a tank. You see here that we have these metal rails along the side, which are there for adjusting, so you get just the right fit. And what I like about these is that they click, so you really aren't going to be adjusting these headphones all the time. Pretty much adjust them once, pop them on, and you're done. Also, this band around here, it's a comfy little cloth band that keeps the actual physical headphones pretty much off your head. You're really not going to feel them much except for these little plastic cups that they have in here, which actually do most of the work and are the reason they feel so comfortable. Of course, you can't see them in this video because they're inside this little cloth pad here, which is really good. Some people complain about the heat after a couple hours. They say they get a little bit warm, but honestly I haven't noticed that at all. They're really comfortable too for the size. You can see here that the cups themselves rest on this kind of swivel, so they're pretty good at just adjusting themselves to fit your size, the size of your head and the size of your jaw. That does quite a bit to take pressure off of you, and you really don't notice these guys are there after about 10 minutes. It's like you're not wearing anything at all until someone else points them out, of course. These are a closed back design, but the interesting thing here is that they actually have a little lip here that lets some sound out and some air in, which helps more than you would think with the sound stage. You really don't get that trapped in your head kind of feeling like you do with other headphones. The only problem is that it kind of negates the purpose of having these big, comfy pleather pads. Because even though they do a great job of noise cancellation, passive noise cancellation that is, they're still going to leak out some sound and let some sounds in. Now, you're really not going to be noticing any of this sound when you have your headphones at a decent volume, so that's just to say, when you're not listening to headphones, don't think you can get away with just using these to block out all the noise like you would with something like a Bose headphones, which have active noise cancellation. Now, like I said, these are really solidly built, and if you're into gaming, you can definitely take these with you to travel and have no fears of them breaking down on you. I myself throw them in my backpack all the time, and they get left around and thrown on the floor, and they've held up pretty well. Like, there's nothing wrong with them. The pads are still in great shape. There aren't any nicks or any visible scratches on here, so I'm really impressed with that. Also, a thing to note about these is that because they're only 30 bucks, this material right here, this pleather material, isn't the silkiest or the softest thing in the world. So you might want to consider that if you're looking for optimum comfort. But really, for the price, you should have no room. There's no room to complain. I mean, do you really want to pay $200 just to have actual leather on your ear cups? I think not. Okay? So again, 30 bucks, and we're off to a great start. Now, the audio performance is impressive. Not just for the price, but for any pair of headphones. These guys have a real beefy bass to them, which is great for people who love hip-hop or rock music. I myself use them for gaming, like I said. Now, remember, keep in mind, these aren't a headset, so you will have to buy a separate microphone if you plan on using them for gaming and want to participate in chats. Okay? But like I said, the bass is great, and you really get a feel of the explosions in games like Call of Duty, Killzone, or Battlefield Bad Company. My only complaint is actually that the bass can get a little too overwhelming. Now again, this depends on your source, but I myself use a audio video receiver, and so the source signal is pretty damn as good as it gets. So when you crank it up to about 30 or so, and a grenade goes off in your vicinity, you're really going to feel it in your ears. Again, that's a plus and minus depending on your personality type and your preferences. Now the soundstage here, like I said earlier, is actually pretty good. There is appreciable sense of distance between the instruments, and you really do get do appreciate the mids, the highs, and the lows. What I will say though is they're definitely not the best sounding headphones. I mean, these are not gonna outclass a Grotto or a Sennheiser or an Audio-Technica headphones that cost about $500. Just not gonna happen. But other than that, they're great. I mean, you're not going to find anything better unless you spend about, like I said, a couple of $100. Alright? If these are going to be your first headphones, you're going to be blown away by the audio quality right off the bat. You're going to hear things that you've never heard before in your music, and you're probably going to want to re-download your library or buy some CDs, because you're really not going to do them justice with cheap little downloads from LimeWire or whatever stuff you might be using. Of course, it comes with the standard 3.5mm jack. It also comes with the 6.3mm jack if you want to plug them in directly into a stereo system. Only problem that I have found so far is that I was expecting there to be an airplane jack, because it just seems to be standard with headphones these days, but you really don't get that in the back. Again, that's a small gripe to have. I'd say if you're not looking to spend a couple $100, you know, these are the best you're going to find. Another popular option is the Cos Porter Pros, but again, I just don't feel like they have the bass. They let too much noise in, and they don't do as good a job as these guys do of making you feel like you're in your own world. Really, you're not going to notice much going on around you. And one of the cool things, actually, is because these little guys adjust this way, what I found is that when my wife is trying to talk to me, I could just flip the cup up, like so, and lift it away from my head, and I could get a pretty good amount of sound in, and can hear her clearly, which is great, so you're not constantly taking them off and on, which is a nice little thing. I don't know if they meant for that to be that way, but I know it's just a bonus in my opinion. That pretty much wraps it up as far as like sound goes. Like, these are really the best for their price. They're really the best in the range, anywhere from, you know, let's say 30 to $100. I don't think you're gonna find any better. JVC does offer a slightly upgraded model for about $10 more, but I really don't recommend that you purchase those. There's just not that much of a noticeable difference between the two. So again, this has been the JVC HARX700s. They're a great set of headphones. I recommend them for anyone who loves hip-hop, rock and roll, or just looking for a good pair of gaming headphones.